Many thanks for joining the first edition of Journalists Hangout. This week, I am Ayodele Uzugbakun. Today on the program, Governors Amosu and Nasiru El-Rufai attack Mama Taraba. Buhari urges calm as Herdsmen killed 19 in Plateau State. And later on the program, NLC opposes release of fresh Paris Club refund to states. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Mayor Akikbelu and Chris Wandu will be making his debut. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Last week, Babajide took a trip to Osun State. He will now share with us some of his observation about Ogbeni Rauf Adesoji Aregbesol's work. Babajide, maybe that's like an aside. We'll find time to come and talk about, comprehensively of about what Rauf is doing in Osun State. But you went there last week and you had a kind of first-hand assessment of what is happening.
Yes, it was my first trip to Osun State in 12 years, to Osogbo especially, in 12 years. And one thing that struck me was Aregbesol's clear achievements in the area of infrastructure, school infrastructure, road infrastructure. I think he has done very well. And in terms of school infrastructure, for example,
okay,
the quality of those secondary schools is such that I don't think I've found anywhere in Nigeria where you have this kind of quality, not even in Lagos. Because I've seen the Millennium schools. This school, for example, if you see the hall of this school, the Tauja Grammar School, the hall is so big. Okay. And
that's a special advisor to the governor of media.
Yes, Semi Okunlawon actually took me around. Now, if you see that hall, you see that the hall would be useful in a variety of ways. And I've seen that even the National Lottery, Sports Lottery, has donated some equipment, sports equipment for the school. This is the hall. I took this photograph inside the hall. You can see so many chairs in the hall. This is one of the bridges that we have constructed over the Osun River. You know, it's named those bridges after significant developments in the state. They named one of those bridges the 5 judges. Okay. Because those 5 judges gave judgment.
The Court of Appeal.
Yes, the Court of Appeal gave judgment in favor of Aregbesola and put an end to, I think, 48 months struggling to validate his mandate. So it's difficult to assess Aregbesola in 5 days. Because many people will say he beats more than he could chew. He's done so much within such a short time. Sometimes you ask yourself that if this man had as much money as some governors, had, what would he have done? Someone was passing through this area and he saw this school and he had someone based abroad and he said, is this a private school? Because the quality of the infrastructure, even the beauty of
some of those schools, the president actually came to commission that time.
Yes, and now what we hear is that there is a 30% decrease in enrollment in private schools
because of the
quality of infrastructure
and the school feeding program. All right, we'll find more time to talk about Ogbeni's projects as we get along. The 32nd president of the United States of America, that is Franklin Roosevelt, once said, in politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. Now, last Wednesday, Minister of Women Affairs, Senator Aisha Al-Hassan, openly endorsed former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for 2019 presidential election. She described President Muhammadu Buhari as a father, but insisted that our allegiance belongs to her political godfather, that is Atiku Abubakar. This open endorsements from a serving minister has opened another line of attack for Buhari's critics, who have been arguing that he should resign and properly attend to his health. But Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosu believes Alasan's comments are preposterous and a disappointment. Amosu said the minister should have, first resigned before making such statements. Our stance did not surprise the Kaduna State Governor, that is Nasiru El-Rufai, who said the minister had never supported our principal's ideology. Already, there are cracks in the ruling All Progressive Congress, just as there are uncertainties over whether Buhari plans to contest the next election. Were Alasan's comments accidentally made? Let me start from you, CKM.
Sincerely, was I surprised by what she said? Yes, I was, because probably that's the first time we're hearing such. I would say the only thing closer to that was a statement made by Dora Koyili during the remember Yaradua's time, where he said we have to do something and the rest of them. But that if I was surprised, I was surprised, because I have always seen the woman as a loyalist, a party loyalist. If you see her, if you notice her antecedents, right from the time she was a senator and right to when she contested for the Taraba State governorship election, which she nearly, I think she was a governor for a day or two, based by the, nobody caught pronouncements, where some people were not jubilating and say, oh, we now have our first female governor and the rest of them, and until she went through that process and now lost finally. I was surprised, but what was, but if you look at it from another angle, she has the right to say what she wants. She has the fundamental right. If we have to base on the fundamentals in terms of constitutional rights, it was a freedom of speech. It was a freedom of speech.
Even as a fake member.
As even as a fake member. Well, the problem is that in governance is a collective responsibility, as we say. So what she said was out of place. I cannot be a chief executive of a company, and I'm paying you salaries, and you not come out and say, oh, I want somebody to take over CKN seat. It was something that was very, very, very uncalled for. And let's wait and see what the president does, or is going to do about that.
I actually did, when we had this kind of heated argument during the week, I actually did, made a kind of illustration that this, let me break it down to that person. Akinwumi Ambode being the governor of Lagos State and one of his commissioners saying, oh, mine, in 2019, I am going to support Jimmy Agbaje. I am not going to support in his in his cabinet. So let's just bring it down there. So what will Akinwumi?
I think what you did is irresponsible, because yes, you can be loyal, but what she said was planned. It was not by accident. If you are aware, she was brought into politics by Atiku Abubakar. She was quite very close to Atiku Abubakar. So we know that Atiku Abubakar is our godfather. But the race for 2019 has begun, and that is part of the strategy to make Atiku Abubakar to become an issue to be discussed. And she had weighed the fact that the worst that can happen is that I will leave the cabinet. And probably maybe she wants to, I don't know, maybe she was going to be involved in the politics and things of that election. Took over the airways last week. Yeah, so she already planned that, okay, the worst that will happen is that I will leave the cabinet, and I'm ready to leave the cabinet. So it was planned. Because you can be loyal to anybody. When in a government like, especially when you have a party that was formed, it's a combination of different parties. There will be conflicting interests. There will be interest. There's no problem with that. But when you become a minister, you are supposed to be loyal to your principal. It is absolutely irresponsible for you to say, oh, even if my principal wants to run, I will kneel down and say, sorry, I'm going to support my godfather. Then that means your loyalty is questioned. And you should not be there. Yes, I agree. People are saying that she has the right to say things. Yes, she has the right. Nobody is taking that right from her. But what we are saying is that, yes, you will know, you can say that, but to come out publicly to say that, oh, I'm not going to support my principal if he decides to run, then fine. Then resign and go and work for your godfather. This person. That is how it's supposed to be. But the problem with PDP, the problem with APC is that there's so much conflict there. The president is not the president is supposed to be the leader of the party, but is not really in charge of the party. So everybody's just doing what they like because what she has done is irresponsible.
Babajide, the other side of it I want to look at it is that somebody like Garuba Shehu, since the early 2000s, that's when I have known Garuba Shehu doing the media work for Atiku Abubakar.
Yes.
And we know all true and true that this person has been doing the media work of Atiku Abubakar, but he's in government now. So he's been moderate, supporting, doing the president's responsibility and the assignment that he has been given to the best of his. Do you think it was responsible of a serving minister to have, spoken that way?
I think that first and foremost we must realize where this woman is coming from. People may not believe me when I say it, but it doesn't matter because I will still say it. There are many people in the APC who have one leg, one out of two legs in the PDP. Or they are making moves that are clear to some of us. When we talk amongst ourselves, we can mention names. Some of them have already begun funding the PDP as we speak. So they are making moves to fund on a big scale if they can be given an assurance that, okay, certain positions will come to them. So when I refer to Mama Taraba going to making that unwise decision to go to the PDP National Secretariat on a day when people were paying solidarity visits to Ahmed Mohamed Makarfi after that victory in the Supreme Court. And she claimed that, she went there to get them to bring more women into active positions in the party. And some Nigerians believed her story. The point is, you choose an auspicious time to do what is right. In her own case, she chose the wrong time to go there. Perhaps to us, wrong time, but she knew what she was doing. Anyone who talks like that about the president has demonstrated a clear lack of faith in the president. So she's just like a fifth columnist in this administration. If the administration does well, she probably won't even be happy. If the administration does not do well, because her loyalty is to a different person,
yes, we said it.
she will be there, just maybe to even please her. Look, we can't deceive ourselves. During the Buhari regime, as a military president, he had people around him who wanted him to fail. And those people were who organized the coup of 1985. What were they doing? Within that regime, they were plotting Buhari's fall without Buhari knowing it. I will give an example because it was Buhari that even said this with his own mouth. You know that the army sent people to ransack Awolowo's house. And they scattered his library. Anybody, when you know Awolowo, you know he treasures his library. They turned his library upside down. Nobody told Buhari they were going to Awolowo's house. Why did they do that? They did it so that the government will become increasingly unpopular, especially with the vocal Southwest. So that by the time they now plan their coup, they won't walk into a hostile climate. People will be ready for it. So they were preparing grounds. It was when Buhari granted that famous interview to the news magazine that he said, look, there were many actions by few columnists within my administration that I didn't sanction. He didn't know that IBB was already planning. IBB had its own boys and they were planning to upstage him. They just wasted for the opportune moment when Idi Agbo traveled to Mecca. And they now used that opportunity to plan that coup. I can tell you that within this same administration, we've said it repeatedly, there are people who do not like what Buhari stands for. They are in this administration because it's a means to an end, and that end is their pocket. So what we will see as the days go by are people like Mama Taraba crawling out of underneath their beds and saying all kinds of things and showing us where their true loyalty belongs. I've said it, and any sensible person knows that Dino Melaye, for example, has no future in the APC. So if Dino takes actions today that are antithetical to the well-being of the APC, it will not surprise me.
Okay. Chris, when you look at a lot of people have been coming to the aid of Mr. President. The Ibikun Lamusu spoke yesterday. Nasir El-Rufai spoke earlier. And the presidency has maintained a kind of silence. They've not said anything. Yeah. And a lot of people have been, you know, waiting for Mr. President. Let's see what he will do. One. And number two, a lot of people have been saying that there are so many Mama Taraba in that cabinet, people that are not loyal to President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes. Truly, talking about the silence within the presidency, I think that that should be deliberate, because to them it should be a shock. It's a shocker. Yes, okay. Yes, it's a shocker because nobody ever expected it. If that was coming from the PDP or whatever, position, people would have said, but
no big deal.
Now having having a cobra, you know, in your bedroom is a very difficult thing to handle. And I think what they are just taking their time, feel the pulse of people. Then also it's like a drunkard in a Chinese glass glass shop. Okay, you have to be very, very careful the way you handle such a thing, because what we've forgotten, most people have forgotten, is the fact that the APC, as is known presently, is made up of several factions and political parties, interest groups. Even as political parties, Buhari came from CPC, I guess. Yes. Tinubu came from ACN. The new PDP, the new PDP party, whatever. Rochas came from APGA and the rest of them. So many factors, so many people, so many interests,
different
tendencies with different tendencies and different body languages came together just to form a political party. And I can tell you that within the past 2 years, it has been very difficult for them to put that together. I don't want to start mentioning names. Even the so-called big boys within the parties, have you felt their pulse? Have you seen them talking? Okay. 2 days ago, Senator Sheikh Sani came out with a very, very, I don't know if you read that tweet. Yeah. That's from him. Yeah. Go and read that. It was just a one-paragraph statement. Go and read what he said about the lion in Lagoon, and the lion in this and the rest of them. That is, within the party is the soul of the party that people are going for now. Okay, but I just think
there's so much tension within the party.
And I believe the president is just trying to be able to manage this. The only thing that can save that situation now is for the president to just bring down his head and do a reshuffle of this cabinet. Yes. And I think they're waiting for October 1st. I think they're waiting for October to that. But that has to be done now, because if you don't do that,
already we've passed 2 years.
Yes, we passed 2 years already.
And this is like midway into this.
If you don't do that,
so in terms of performance, in terms of loyalty, that cabinet is due for reshuffling.
It's completely. It has overdue. Everybody knows that. We've all been saying that, and I can tell you, even within the party, within that, name how many ministers are performing. Okay, because most of the ministers were focused on the president. It wasn't that, yes, the president had the final sign-off on them, but most of them came from different individual interest groups and the rest of them. Now is the time.
A lot of them have ambitions.
Yes, and you heard what the acting president then, now vice president, said. He said the time for blaming and the rest of them is over.
Yes,
this government have to start working, because we have just less than 2 years to go. So I still feel that's better. I can assure you that in the next few days, something will come up. And if they don't, then there'll be a lot of problems.
Let me quickly take my first caller. Gabriel is calling us from Ogun State. Thank you for hanging out with us, Gabriel.
Good evening.
Good evening, Gabriel.
Hello, good evening. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Uncle Jide, how now?
I greet you.
Can you hear me, please?
I greet you.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Now, you see, I believe something so strongly that whatever is taking place in the physical has its roots in the spiritual. I am very well known to the fact that many of the CPC people who struggled with the president from 2001 or 2003 or 2014, 2011, the president did not compensate them by adequately putting them in government.
Really?
That's not true.
Okay.
His wife made some comments some time ago that the president is surrounded by people who they did not know. I can tell you boldly that Minister for Communication, Bayo Shitu, is the only CPC in the whole of Southwest in President Buhari's government where are his people that have worked with him, that have worked with him, that he knows and trusted. That is it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you for your contribution.
The point is, in terms of appointments, the CPC people have benefited more than any other group.
Honest,
And they are probably
we can name names.
Yes.
and they are probably the smallest group within the party.
Yes, they
Yes, because they didn't
Look,
come with any governor.
The
And-
NPDP,
okay, I think they came with Nasarawa.
the NPDP,
Mm.
the NPDP as a group is the largest group in that party.
Yes.
It's true.
They came with no less than 20 governors. I think between 19 and 20 governors. The NPDP.
Yes, those people that joined after
Yes,
the
now.
first four.
People like the governor of Kebbi, the governor of Benue, all of them. They were all former PDP people. You know, up till December 5, 2014, about less than even 4 months to the election, they were still in PDP. So a lot of them didn't get anything. I know that people like Galadima and the rest of them in the CPC, they've been complaining. But there's no way by which the president can compensate everybody. People already, we have had this series.
Selika
Is there, is
Adamu
aviation
Adamu.
minister. Adamu is there.
Education.
We have even the Hanere, or what's his name, the man from
Yeah, the guy
from Edo State.
Minister of State for Health.
For health.
Yes.
We have them, different people in the administration. Even the former SGF.
Malami.
Abubakar Malami was the legal advisor of the CPC. So many of them.
In fact,
you can't say it's
So that one is
the
not
complaint
true.
is that other groups
We
are
have-
even shortchanged.
yes, they feel, and it is
the other
not
way around.
and nobody forced. You see, the ministers, the president chose the ministers by himself.
That's what I said.
He chose the ministers. Unlike in the past, governors did not nominate ministers this time.
Yes.
He chose the ministers that he wanted to work with him, and the ministers he chose were dominated by the CPC elements. So it is not even it's not really true. I agree with CKN that this is a time for a cabinet reshuffle. Remember when those governors led people to walk out on Jonathan? What did Jonathan do? He looked at everyone that the governors who voted against him contributed to his cabinet, and he chased all of them away.
Yes.
People like Abdul Kadri,
Bolaji Abdullahi. Yes, that
He chased
woman,
them away.
education woman.
Yes, the Jigawa woman. Even though the Jigawa governor eventually, the former governor eventually made up with him, but he sacked the woman. So there's no room, in our kind of politics, there's no room for disloyalty. Once there is that slightest sign, and we always say Jonathan is a dull person, this and that. But immediately he saw that they revolted against him, he chased away the people that they nominated.
That is why I have a problem. I think the problem in APC has to do with President Buhari. I said it before, I'm saying now. He doesn't seem to...
Mayor.
It's a good... Yeah.
Mayor, let me just take Fatai Taraba. I'll come back to you. Fatai is calling us from Taraba. Thank you for joining us, Fatai.
Hello.
Yes, Fatai, go ahead. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Good evening, gentlemen over there.
Yeah, welcome.
Good evening.
I really enjoyed this program. I want to contribute.
Fatai, I must say, we don't have the luxury of this time.
Based on the statement that Mama Taraba made.
Listening to himself.
She is just a political prostitute.
She keep running. What she is doing is just for her target. It's not for our benefit. And this directly, she's implicating us over here.
Thank you, Patai. Thank you for that your contribution. Patai is calling for Taraba, so understandably well. Mayor,
the president is not only the chief executive of the country, he's also the political leader of his party. But since the beginning of this government, the president has felt his responsibility of leading the party. And that is why he's allowing different tendencies in the party to keep pulling the party in different directions. The president is supposed to show leadership. His style, he may be a strong leader as we know him, but I think when it comes to a lot of things, he's very weak. When it comes to politics, especially politics, and taking some decisions, he's very, very weak.
He has left the party.
That is why his minister can come out and talk like that. And even because initially, when she first made that statement, it was in a private setting. When they went to do this pay homage to Atiku. Somebody who respects our principal will have just kept quiet. When it became an issue, she would have kept quiet. She would just say, okay, I shouldn't have said things. But she went ahead, she followed up with it on BBC to say, look, I said it, and I don't have any apologies for it. That is even the kind of words you were using. When people tell him that he won't believe that the president will be naive to do some things, that's a direct insult on the president. But it's because that's what I'm saying. But it's because the president is weak.
No, the president delays at taking decisions.
That's what I'm saying. It takes you don't need Yes, I agree that they need to do the cabinet reshuffle, and I think they're planning that. But when somebody doing that guy should have.
It's taking forever.
No, the lady should have been removed.
I wanted to ask you that when you look at what is happening, maybe the president is, since he has been voted for, is faced with, okay, let me face what is happening in the country. You party people, go and hold your party. Unfortunately for the All Progressive Congress, they don't have strong leadership. As in terms of John Odogie Oyegun, he has not been holding his own.
No, personally, and we have to start going personal now. Now, first and foremost, I think the greatest problem facing the party, as Mayor said, is the president. But that's, I don't think, is deliberate. The health condition of the president is a big contributing factor. Okay, the president is not working at full length. Okay, not full speed. So there are certain state matters that he directly takes charge of, and rest of the political issues. That is where I'm going. That's where I'm going to. Now, I also think that the biggest problem facing the party, APC, is not being able to effectively use Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I have not really seen his footprint in the party, because as a national party leader, I think giving the necessary support, if the president is, for whatever reason, is a bit weak at taking certain issues, the national leader of the party, who president, as far as I'm concerned, for me, is bigger than the national chairman or whoever is this thing, should be able to be. Such power should be entrusted in. Now, ask yourself, the congresses of the APC, APC, that have been overdue for how many months? For months now. Nobody. You see what you saw what happened.
They don't even meet. The organs of government, the organs of the party
doesn't even meet. Some people just come. 1 or 2 people just take decision, and the rest of them. And that is why I still said, go back. You know what Senator Sani said a few days ago. Most people didn't take that seriously. Go back and read that 1 paragraph statement. That statement could be expanded to 10 volumes. To a 10-volume book, because presently the major stakeholders in APC are not participating in the activities of the party.
So I think something must be done if APC want to go to the next election, and as the PDP have been looking at their weaknesses, and they are looking at it, they say, we can capitalize on this, the weaknesses of APC. If they want to go to the next election, how must they, fine-tune these things?
Yes, there are different tendencies within the party, but everyone must realize that, look, Without that party, they do not have a platform.
Yeah.
You have interests. Politics is an interest-driven game. All of them, as you see them, they have their individual plans and all that, agenda and all that. So, but everything must be subsumed in the interest of the party. They should be able to speak as one. And the interest of the party should be paramount. That's the way parties of old were organized. When we had the UPN and the rest of them, the party was supreme. These days, because individuals spend their own money to put themselves in political positions, they don't want to listen to the party. They want to act on their own because the party didn't put them there. As far as they are concerned, they spent their ways to the positions that they occupy. In those days, the party would spend its money to
sponsor you.
Get you elected.
Because the people that are elected, they are normally
so your loyalty
poor
will be
average people.
Your loyalty will be wholly to the party. That was the way Awolowo and others organized their parties. But these days, that's not what we have. And the underbelly of the APC is being exposed every day, with every passing day. The national chairman went to Adamawa State yesterday, one of the states where there is real crisis within the party, where there is a possibility of even a breakup of the party before the election. And the governor took it upon himself to not allow even some big people within the party in the state to be part of the meeting that the national chairman came to hold with the people. So if we shut out certain elements within the party, you are telling them that they should go to a rival party. So APC is today in power largely because it was able to feast on the disharmony within the PDP.
Yes.
All those governors that came in,
that
that lost in the primaries and came into the APC, they won their elections, and APC was able to add at least 19 governors. 19 governors. So that is the sort of position that the PDP finds itself now. Unless the ruling party organizes itself, and how do you organize yourself? The party, the national chairman must show leadership. He must show leadership. Move around the states where Shehu Sani is talking. You know, of course, what is going through with El-Rufai and the rest of them. All the three senators against the governor. Admittedly, one of them is PDP. But at least the grassroots senator, Onkui, is against the governor. And they use the structures.
Akida faction.
They use the structures.
They're divided. All right.
So something must give.
So when we return, President Muhammadu Buhari urges calm as herdsmen killed 19 in Plateau State. Details after we come. Don't go away. Please join us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, you're right on time. This is Journalist Hangout. We are reaching you live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria, on television Continental. Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State is not a happy man right now. For the past 2 years, Jos and neighboring local government areas have been enjoying relative peace, but that fragile ambience was ruptured on Friday. Gunmen believed to be Fulani herdsmen stormed Ancha village in Bassa local government and unleashed mayhem on innocent citizens. Now, they left in their wake 19 dead bodies and 5 injured persons. The police say the attack was a reprisal because it came 3 days after the body of a missing Fulani boy was found. It was, it said 5 suspects have been arrested in the missing persons case, but no arrest has been made in respect of the Friday morning's attack. Now, on Saturday, President Buhari appealed for calm and end for communal violence. What is really going on? Now, Mayor, this is not the normal, the herdsmen that we've been talking about. I doubt it. Is it the protracted problem between the Fulani people and the native Biron people in...
This is an isolated case.
Okay.
It's not on the wider sense of the herdsmen. But the problem still has to do with government. The government is not showing enough commitment and political will to solve the problem of either communal clashes or the menace of the herdsmen.
Don't you think they have their hands full right now? To be fair to them,
yes,
grappling with the economy, grappling with the northeast.
No, but the problem of the herdsmen is as important as any of these other problems, because it's a major crisis in Nigeria, and the government's belief is that they have to appease the herdsmen. Because I watched one interview with the finance minister, or with the information minister, and the information minister was trying to argue that, oh, the problem is complicated, we have to find other ways of solving it, we cannot use force, these herdsmen and these farmers have always been coexisting, then these people are not really Nigerians, they migrated from Mali and all that. But that's not the issue. The issue is that if there is a security situation, these people have to obey the law. They cannot turn themselves into the law. Even if there is a problem, that could be murder, that could be crime committed on a Fulani boy. That does not give them the right to go into a village and kill innocent citizens. That cannot be justified.
That's what they do all the time.
And that's what they do all the time. It's the same thing with the herdsmen. If they had clashes with farmers, they will now come back, be armed and come with the lights and attack immediately and sack the entire village. The government should not do that, and that is that's another indictment on this government, because from day one, they did not show will to solve the problems of these herdsmen.
It's the herdsmen thing is becoming, but a lot of people will tell you that it's not peculiar to Nigeria. Some people will tell you that you have herdsmen problem in Ghana, you have it in Republic of Benin. It's peculiar to this part of the world. It's not a Nigerian thing alone.
Yeah, but not at the scale at which ours is happening on a daily basis.
Yes.
Right? The fundamental obligation of every government is security of life and property and properties. And also, don't forget the cardinal points under which the APC campaign were hinged on. Security was one of security, corruption, and economy. Those are the three basic. Now the economy, well, we are neither here. We are out of recession. We are into.
We are not out of anything.
We started the rest of them. Fine. Security is key, and I think that the problem is that, just as Mayor said, the present government, have been treating this matter with kid gloves, and that's it. Let me ask you, how many of those involved or those arrested have been prosecuted, given long-time jail?
Well, we've had a couple of cases, but it's not as the number. Yes, no.
Okay, because at the last
we've heard of arrests, but
we're
talking
about thousands of, not hundreds, that have been killed across the North Central, mostly Benue, Nasarawa, Plateau. Then it moved to the southeast. It has to take the guts of the governor of Ekiti State, Fayose, with what he did, for us to be able to stem that in the bud a bit, or else probably could have spread. Even as far as even Edo State, it happened. You understand very well. Enugu State, at a point, it became a new. I don't think that our security, the government, have been able to do what they ought to do. We need to nip this in the bud. Because, ask yourself, all the so-called herdsmen and the herdsmen we knew when we were growing up, all those Fulani, those that carry cane, not maybe you understand, of course. Those of us that grew up in this carry cane, probably one small dagger.
Yeah, they changed because of the cattle rustlers.
That is what I'm saying.
That's the justification
now
that they need to carry
this quickly changed, and it wasn't as bad as this. Some few years back, what we need to ask ourselves, how come this attack has become so frequent? Yes, there must be some fundamental issues. So I think that the government must, it is like, for goodness sake, I know that for any other thing, that is like there is a press statement already written and kept somewhere. Okay. Once it happens, or they just bring it out and we need to just do something about it.
Ayuba is calling us from Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us, Ayuba.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Do you good evening, Ayuba?
Doing great job.
Thank you.
I want to contribute on Mama Taraba's outburst.
Go ahead,
My
Ayuba.
take is Mama Taraba is flying a kite. If you check all the problem APC or this government is having, is those who migrate from PDP to APC. And for Mama Taraba to go and do that, this is not the first time they did Salah celebration. And in 2016, there was Salah celebration. Why don't she go to Atiku that time and go and make that comment? For her to do that now, it's possible they want to ignite something. By December, just watch it. Those guys that are aggrieved, that couldn't steal money, that couldn't get where to feed themselves, they'll start doing all what they want. And they will do the same thing they do in 2014. For her to have gone there, this 2017, why? It's calculated now. For her to come out and say she's support. Atiku was the one clamoring for restructuring then. Just of a sudden, they were thinking Buhari is not going to come back. Buhari came in. They have to start their this thing. Mama Taraba started. Watch what people will start bringing in.
Thank you, Ayuba. Thank you for your contribution. Babajide, when you look at this, the menace of herdsmen, and I want us to look at the peculiar problem in Plateau State. That's just area. For some time now, they've been kind of fragile peace, and I even saw the last time they even organized a football match between the Fulani, and the, So, but in the last 3-4 years, they had it so bad that it almost made that state ungovernable. But right now, Plateau State is coming back to what it used to be with this now.
Yeah, the thing is, just as the president said, nobody or group of persons has the right to, even if you feel wronged by the actions of another group, you do not have the right to avenge the killing of anyone, because that's taking the law into your hands. Yeah. Plateau has been peaceful for some time. The native Birom and the Fulanis, they even organized the military beyond just securing the environment, organized football matches and competitions amongst them. And everyone was happy. In the past, you can't go to Barkin now, they will kill you. And those guys, after killing people, they will climb the hills. They will climb the hills and escape. The target, they usually come in the night when you do not expect it. In fact, there was a particular fatal attack like that they carried out. They sold a dummy to a particular community that they were coming. So the neighboring communities now provided able-bodied men to secure that particular community. Okay. So meanwhile, their target was a different community. So by the time those guys came in the night, the men, the able-bodied men had left their own town to secure a town, I mean, that the herdsmen claimed they were coming to attack. So they just walked into that place and slaughtered people. Those young men came back and found that their wives had been killed. And the wickedness of these guys ensure that they do not, their wicked nature ensures that they do not spare kids, they do not spare women. In this attack, for example, they killed 7 male adults, killed 6 women, and 6 kids. It's extreme wickedness. People who do know nothing about what happened. You just kill people.
They killed one
and then
boy.
They killed one boy. They killed the boy. They said the boy was missing. And then a few days later, they found his headless body. But it's not enough. A place that had been in peace for so long. And then you shatter the entire peace.
It's not enough
by
to
killing
take
people.
19 lives.
It's not enough because of one soul. So nobody is saying that. What the point is, something has to be done. I think that in this case, our security agencies dropped the ball again. Because you know these people, know the way they behave. So we should have reacted better by securing that entire area. Because you know they will come back. It is in the nature of the herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen, to avenge any form of this on them. Yes. So they should have secured the area. But you didn't do that. You arrested people over that first one, but you can't announce to us now that you were able to arrest anyone over this case. They killed people, they walked away. You arrested 5 people for the last murder, for that first murder. But in this case, you can't even tell us that you arrested a single soul. The Fulani herdsmen have killed more people than Boko Haram in the last 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
It's documented.
Yes,
They've killed more people.
Yes.
They killed so many people in Benue
Yes.
State. They've killed more than 3,000 Nigerians in the last 3 years.
Yes.
Mayor,
fact.
you know, I used to look at it before, and these are things that we see in the other parts of the world. I never knew that we could descend so low. When did life become so cheap?
It is because
Nigeria.
our governments are not doing the needful. The Herdsmen problem, yes, because most of these Herdsmen migrated from Mali. And because they move from country to country, you understand, they don't really have loyalty to any country. They move around. Anywhere they can get go pastors for their cattle. But we don't have this kind of problems in other places. Where we have problems there is because, one, in the north or in the most areas where they get, especially in Benue, they believe, they have this mentality that they have to go to some areas because if they get the kind of grass or the water they will get in those areas will be good for their cattle. And they go there and try to now impose themselves on people, and they have this conflict.
Trample of farmland.
It is important for government to show the need for that. Why people have criticized the president is because they say, oh, the president is the patron of cattle farmers.
And that's quite unfair.
Which is unfair. But it's because the president himself, maybe because of challenges or whatever, this government is not showing the kind of decisiveness which they showed against Boko Haram. You understand? This government do not see the Herdsmen problem as a major problem. They think they must appease the Herdsmen. In fact, some states actually believe that they should even pay them compensation. And there were talk one time that they wanted to do law to have them to commandeer people's lands so that they can use this as grazing land. It's because people think they must appease these people. That is why we have this problem. This government must know that the Herdsmen is a security challenge and it should be seen as such.
Tiken.
Yes.
It's not funny again.
It's not.
And
It's not.
it's even moving down south.
Yes.
It's not even peculiar to the north.
Yes. It's not. And they're bringing some political undertone. If you read the statement a few days ago, even iPod, when iPod was confronted with the issue of BSS, the security, you see what they've said. They went out, oh no, we set up the security to checkmate the activities of Fulani headsmen. That is where we want them to go into communities and rest of it. Now people are taking advantage of such little security lapses which definitely I know that can't fly. You can't tell me that you are setting up BSS because you want them to checkmate. Well, of course, that bet they're making some level of political undertone to that. So what's our security outfits? The problem we have with our security people is that instead of being preemptive, they're always reactive. Okay, this doesn't happen in most major countries of the world. Before anything takes place, you would have seen the security outfit would have said, "Oh, look at what happened in Spain. Look at what happened in so many other countries." Yes, there was a bomb somewhere, but one. It went off, then you got to realize that the cell, they were able to breach the cell and also nip about 4 other cells. That is what happened. But ours, we always react, oh, the police said we have arrested so number of people, and we are chasing. How can't we use our intelligence to be able to preempt some of these attacks? And that's what they need to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me take Adamu is calling us from Niger State. Thank you for joining us, Adamu.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, Adamu. All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, sir. Your
line is...
So it's you now that's addressing now.
Between the northern region and some parts of Nigeria. In this 21st century, we're not supposed to be talking about herdsmen any longer, or cattlemen roaming about in the streets. Yeah. Brazil, we are the highest producer of beef all over Nigeria. I heard the Minister of Agriculture was saying that there is going to be a shortage of beef. What did they do? The answer is simple: artificial insemination. We went all the way to India and got the species and the specimen cattle, and they crossbreed. And now Brazil, they are the highest producer of beef. So Nigeria, we can also do the same thing. And secondly, the issue of personal roaming about all these things, the answer is now. We don't hear anything about it. So that is farmers rushing
Thank you, Adamu. Yes. Thank you for your contribution, at least. Babajide, while rounding off on this, and I think it's something that the government should take serious, and maybe ahead of, before Operation Python Dance, the military should look at a way, because I was told that these herdsmen now, they are now in possession of sophisticated weapons. So it goes beyond the police, what the police can handle. Yeah. So the military, we have to, we know our military guys, they are almost overstretched, but we need them right now.
And the thing is, if you look at the nature, the herdsmen do not pose the kind of threats that they used to pose in the past, especially in northern Nigeria. This was just an isolated case, because there is peace in that area. The people have been living together for years now, happy with one another, and suddenly we had this. Even if there was just one killing of a Fulani boy, in the interest of peace, they shouldn't have invaded the village to keep people in the way they have done. That's why, in my view, a lot of these people are not even Nigerians.
They're not. And
that's why I call them the Fulani militia. I don't like calling them herdsmen. The people who come to kill people are not herdsmen. You will never see cattle with them. They come alone. Whereas the Fulani man, the Fulani herdsmen will rarely leave their cattle. Yeah. These ones are paid to kill. So we deceive ourselves when we call them Fulani herdsmen. They are Fulani militia. They are paid to kill, licensed to kill. That is their job. So anytime they feel like killing people, they just go and engage them. Oh, there are some people who want you to go and teach them a lesson here. It has to stop. And our attitude to conflicts like this must also change. We must be ready at all times. If this will happen, if we suspect that this kind of thing can happen, then we must draft soldiers quickly and ensure that people's lives are not wasted unnecessarily. The lives of the average Nigerian we must see the life of the average Nigerian as very, very important. In the UK and America, if 10 people should die in an incident, it becomes a national problem. Boko Haram will kill 100 people in one day, and it's not even a problem.
Mayor, your last take on this?
Yeah, the government should live up to its responsibilities. It is their duty to protect the citizens. They should solve the problem of these Fulani militia. I agree that they are the Fulani militia instead of herdsmen. We should solve the problem and start appeasing them.
Chris?
Yes, just like every other person said, I think it's high time that our security agencies take this seriously. We shouldn't just be treating this with kid groups. These guys can go beyond this. And as we're heading towards the next election, so many other people will be armed, and ammunition will start coming in. Just today, you heard what happened today. Another set of arms. So the security, our security should be up and doing and make sure that all these are nipped in the bud immediately.
I want to thank you, Chris Wandu. I want to thank you for coming, making your debut on Journalist Hangout.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Really enjoyed your presence, and I want to thank you, Mayor Akipelu, for always being there for us, and my Ogajide. Thank you for always making Journalist Hangouts a very, very interesting program. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can catch us on DSTV 418 for repeat at 11 nights, and you can watch on GoTV 45. You can also watch on Star Times 307 and free to air on Northern Brothers. You can watch 709, and if you are in Europe, anywhere in Europe, all over Europe, you can watch on B-Sky B 517. You can also hang out with us on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. See you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.